Greeting everybody and what's going on, and welcome to today's video. So before we gonna dive deeper into today's topic, allow me to talk about something else, and that is head-ons. Alright, so first of all, I'm not here to tell you that you are supposedly a bad player when you are taking head-ons. There's actually a lot of good reasons to take a head-on, especially when you are very proficient at it. And I totally agree on that, because most of the time you would simply achieve a very quick kill. However, as a new player to War Thunder, you would almost always find yourself in this rather frustrating situation where your head-ons do not seem to work out. So in this video I'm not gonna go into further detail why this might be the case. Instead, I'd like to introduce you to a very standard, or let's say basic energy maneuver that I've been doing for like years now, and you also might have seen me doing this in almost all my videos. So if you find yourself in this position that you simply do not know what else you could do except for going for head-ons, this video is just right for you. So without further ado, and I quote, experience the battle, dissect the tactics, and relive the dogfight. Alright, so first of all, you can perform this maneuver with every fighter in the game, okay? You can take a plane that's made for boom and zooming, you can take a plane that's made for turn fighting, it simply doesn't matter, as long as you keep two things in mind, and these are having the advantage in altitude and the advantage in speed. And having the speed advantage is absolutely mandatory to make this maneuver work, because if you do not have speed, you are literally fucked. So having an extra altitude advantage is not mandatory, but if you kind of throw it into the mix, you will find yourself in a much better position, which just maximizes your chances and at the same time minimizes the risks. And one last pro tip is, don't get too frustrated. You will not get everything right at the first try, you will make mistakes. So practice makes perfect, and this is one of the greatest benefits when you keep on practicing this maneuver, because you will drastically improve your playstyle. Alright, so here we go. So let's pause it here for a second and talk about what's happening on the screen. First of all, this guy. Remember the two criteria I was talking about? That's right, I'm above this guy, I have the altitude advantage. I also came out of a dive, which means I'm very fast. But do you notice something else? Exactly, I'm not going straight at this guy. And the reasons behind this are actually pretty simple. A, I want to stay out of his guns. B, I want to bait him into turning into me, which means he would bleed even more speed. And C, and that's the so-called mind trick part, I want to make him think that he would get a shot on me because I seemingly do not pay attention to him. So we are getting closer to each other, I'm building up even more speed, and when we're about to merge, that's when I pitch up. And this is what you actually want to see in this moment. He's rolling his plane because he wants to go for a shot, but as I'm already pitching up, he will most likely follow me, which means he will bleed even more speed. So I pitch up and pull right over his nose. At this point you can be sure that you have successfully energy trapped your opponent, because as soon as you can spot those contrails on their wings, you know they absolutely struggle to keep up with you. So as I'm rolling out and pulling up into this high yo-yo directly above this guy, he already bled so much energy that he simply cannot pitch up into me anymore. And this is why this maneuver is such a treat, not only to you but also to your team, because you can provide very simple baits. So as he's deciding to dive away from me, I can now easily slot on his 6. And because he was flat turning all the time, he was not able to build enough speed to dive away. So after performing a series of high yo-yos just to prevent me overshooting, I shoot this guy down. And this is the maneuver in a nutshell. However, there might be some stuff you might find rather frustrating or hard to pull off. So let's talk about that right now. So most of the time I died when I was practicing this maneuver was actually when I was merging with people. And if that's the case for you, just ask yourself the following. Did I have the altitude advantage? Yeah, not really. Was I actually fast enough? Yeah, he's at least as fast as you, boy. Did I just choose a very poor angle? Yeah, now you pull right into his guns. What did you expect? So whenever you're getting killed or being damaged heavily, it's mostly because you have underestimated your enemy's energy state. And this is when careful pre-planning and observation come into play. Take this group of 3 fighters for example. These guys actually came out of a dive, so presumably they are very fast. So let's run the checklist again. Altitude advantage, check. Speed advantage, not so sure. So here is what I'll do. I've already put my nose slightly down to commence a shallow dive and increase my speed. And I also roughly fly at around 90 degrees away from them. So as they have to turn now to get a shot on me, they're gonna lose all their speed they just gained in a dive. So as I emerge, I again go up and over into a high yo-yo. These guys are clearly struggling keeping up with me. And as I'm coming back down, this FOU just managed to stall himself completely out right in front of my nose. Rule of thumb here, if you don't know how fast they are, get as fast as possible and at the same time make them turn as much as possible so they're gonna lose as much speed as possible. Another key to successfully perform this maneuver is actually situational awareness, because most of the time at the top of your loop you're gonna get very slow or you're even gonna stall, and that could turn you into a very easy target for nearby enemies. So it's imperative that you will always check your surroundings, which means trying this maneuver in a furball is actually not recommended. Alright, so let's wrap it up. In my opinion, this is just a great maneuver to learn. It definitely takes a little more time to get it right, and sometimes it's not that easy to figure out what actually went wrong. But in the long run, you'll definitely, and I promise that, improve your playstyle. Because this maneuver is kind of a door opener into the whole new world of energy fighting. And it's also a very nice way to support your team and provide possible baits to you, your team or your wingman. So I hope that you learned something today and this video provided some helpful information to improve your game. And in case you have some questions, just ask them in the comment section below. So see you next time and thanks for watching.